Hello, this is Jason McDonald, and I would like to share some Dharma wisdom. This is wisdom that I don't really take credit for because, of course, I don't think anybody can actually own the Dharma or take credit for the Dharma. And in fact, I don't even believe we should charge money when we create Dharma, whether it's a book, a video, etc. But anyway, allow me to share something. All of our suffering is encapsulated in the mind. You might argue, hey, what about when I hurt my knee or I'm in excruciating physical pain? How is that in the mind? My answer would be that it's true that there is a certain percentage of suffering that is just physical in that example. So we could say a certain part of the suffering is just physical. However, what the mind does is it takes what in essence are only sensations and wraps stories around those sensations. And then every time a sensation arises, creates a whole series of stories. And on that note, all of our experience in life, everything that we experience, whether it's good, bad, or neutral, is essentially things that are arising as a result of other things. So, for example, we're going about our day, we're in a pretty good mood, and then we see a red car that reminds us of our ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend who broke our heart, and then all of a sudden we're instantaneously transported back in time, and we're sad and brokenhearted, and then that opens up a whole stream of memories about the event. And those memories lead to more memories. And before you know it, you just wasted 3 hours of your day lost in thought. And so that's how everything we experience works. And most of us lack the continuity of mindfulness to really understand that this is how it is. Most of the time we have an experience. Let's just use the example of trying to think of a good example. Let's use the example of fear. We have some kind of physical sensation that arises, and then it leads to a thought of, oh, that doesn't seem right. Why am I having that physical sensation? And then in the background of the mind, there's a continuous flow of this fear of, hey, what's wrong with me? What's going to happen to my body? What's wrong with me? Now, that whole experience, and again, you may be lost in thought for an hour because a sensation comes up in your shoulder. It's actually quite humorous how this happens. It's also quite sad because all of our suffering is just riding on the waves of the phenomena of life. It's, put another way, all of our suffering is just the effect of all the different causes that we experience in life. And ironically, the only types of experiences that we can actually have in life are visual sights, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, you could say touches or, tactile sensations, and then thoughts. So it's 6. There's 6 types of experiences that we can have. We can see, hear, smell, taste, touch, and think. There's nothing other than those things that we can experience. And so a sight comes into our view. Maybe it's something on TV. It reminds us of, some past experience. And then we start thinking about that experience. One thought leads to another. again, before you know it, we've wasted, the better part of an hour or two of our day in and out of these sort of hallucination thoughts where we're daydreaming about something that happened 20 years ago or 10 years ago or a year ago. And by and large, we are predominantly unaware of how these things occur. So the foundation of all Buddhism is mindfulness. The Buddha taught a sutta in the Pali tradition, the Theravada tradition, called the Satipatthana Sutta. And it's thought and it's taught that all Vipassana traditions arise on the basis of this Satipatthana Sutra. And essentially, in the Satipatthana Sutra, the Buddha is trying to teach us bare knowledge and continuous mindfulness of whatever is happening. If we're sitting, we should know that we're sitting. If we're standing, we should know we're standing. If thoughts are arising, we should know thoughts are arising. If sensations are arising, we should know sensations are arising. And just that bare knowledge and continuous mindfulness of what is arising can help us. And we have to develop this so that it can help us to cut away the storytelling machine that seems to be so prevalent in these modern times. I suspect most of us, if not all of us, are so inundated and essentially we just have too much information coming at us, right? We're sort of overwhelmed with stimuli, for lack of better words. 1 minute we're reading an email on our phone, and then a text message comes in and we're on a text, and then our friend sends us a YouTube video and we're watching YouTube, and then a Facebook thing comes in, and then an Apple iPhone 16 email comes in. That actually just happened as I was recording this. An email came in. So we're having these ultra busy lifestyles because there's too much information. We are overstimulated. And as a result of that overstimulation, I believe that, our minds never have a chance for peace. Our minds never really have a chance to just be. Because if you're constantly doing, it's very difficult to just be. How can you just be if you're caught up in a constant flurry of overactivity? So one way that we can get back to this present moment and get back to the bare knowledge and continuous mindfulness that the Buddha taught us is something called mental noting or mental labeling. And this is basically silent noting in the mind. You don't say the words out loud. You say it silently, and you just note what you're doing. So, for example, if you're sitting, you note sitting, sitting. If a thought comes up, you can note thinking, thinking. If you stand up, you can note standing, standing, walking, sitting, eating. Whatever you're doing, you're noting it. If a sound comes up, you note hearing. And I'll be honest, this might seem boring, and this might become boring, but what's important is it does a few things for us. Number one, it cuts away the storytelling machine. You can't be delusional and lost in thought if you are in the present moment, in your body, mindful of the sensations coming up, mindful of the sounds in the room that you're in or outside, mindful of the different things moving around, the physical objects that you can see. If you are mindful of all these things, you can't get lost in thought, and you might get bored with it if you start to try this practice. But whether or not you're bored is actually unimportant. Because if you want to say, well, I don't want to be bored, I'm going to do a different practice. Well, how's that working out for you with all the anxiety, fear, stress, anger, discontentment? The general lack of ease that most of us experience on a day-to-day basis is not really peaceful. It's not enjoyable. So yes, the mental labeling practice or mental noting, at times it can get quite boring. However, it can bring a tremendous benefit to our lives. In the form of cutting away our stories and bringing us into the present moment. B, it can help us to see impermanence. So if we can see impermanence, we will naturally cling to things less and have fewer worries, less fear, less concerns about things not going our way, because whether or not something goes our way, it is going to be impermanent. Every experience in our life is impermanent. There is literally nothing we could ever do to escape that reality. I've used the comparison over the years of an ice cube melting in the sun to depict every experience we have in our lives. We tend to take things too seriously, and we tend to solidify and make permanent all of the things we're experiencing. And when things seem very, very permanent, serious, and important, they have more power over us. They have more capacity to torture us, torment us, and eliminate all of our relaxation, peace, and contentment. So if we're going around and we're obsessed and fixated and worried and concerned with all of the things going on in our lives and in the world around us, that obsession, fixation, concern, and worry will lead us to try to control everything. By trying to control everything, we basically guarantee that we are going to suffer. By trying to control everything, we guarantee that we are going to put forth a maximum amount of effort towards something that is utterly uncontrollable. There's nothing that can be controlled in this world 100% because we cannot see the future. We cannot predict the unpredictable. None of us know what's going to happen in 5 minutes. We don't know if our house is going to be standing in 5 minutes, let alone if our favorite food is going to be available to eat. You have no idea what's going to happen in 5 minutes. In one way, that's quite scary. It's scary because we like to cling to a false sense of control because it gives us an ignorant sense of security. Unfortunately, I'm as guilty of this as anybody. We all want to be safe and secure, and we want to have nice, pleasant, pleasurable things, and we want to avoid unpleasant things. And so what we try to do is we try to control the world in a way that gives us what we want. However, since nothing can be predicted, we cannot predict what's going to happen. Therefore, we cannot control it. Once one really understands this in their deepest core, once you understand this on a cellular level in your body, you don't cling to things so much. Because whatever happens to surface in this moment, it's just going to melt away like an ice cube in the sun. And then another ice cube will pop up, and it will be a different color, and it will have a different characteristics, and it will look different and feel different. And I'm just using these ice cubes to depict our experiences. But no matter what experience comes up, no matter how awful it is, no matter how angry you are, no matter how brokenhearted you might be, It is absolutely going to vanish like an ice cube melting in the sun. And in fact, it already is vanishing. It is disappearing before your very eyes because it is impermanent. Now, you may not like it, and that might cause you to cling on to it and to make it more solid than it is and to make it more serious and more important than it is. But that is a result of not understanding its impermanence and trying to control. And when we try to control, we tend to be very, very defensive. We have a defensive posture. Our body is tense. Our mind is tense. We're rigid. We're narrow-minded. However, if we can just let go and let everything be just what it is, we can begin to see that life is actually a constant flow of beauty and ugliness, a constant flow of good and bad, a constant flow of black and white, a constant flow of tall and short, fat and skinny. All of these various experiences are just an unceasing display of impermanence. So, once you really begin to understand that life is a flow rather than a thing, or should I say life is a flow of myriad infinite things occurring, one right after the other, rather than, actually, you might say life is kind of like a waterfall or a river. Maybe a river is a good example. Our experience kind of is comprised of this river-like variety of phenomena flowing, kind of raging right past us, or maybe flowing right past us in a way that's, it's not necessarily the whitewater rapids, but it's a nice, fairly quick moving river, and it's just flowing right past us. And there is nothing anyone can do to stop that river from flowing. And that's both good and bad. In one way, it's terrifying because every one of us is going to become a skeleton. And so on one hand, you might say, hey, I don't want to die. Hey, I don't want to part from all my loved ones, but that is resisting the truth. You could say, I don't like gravity. I really dislike gravity. I don't want there to be gravity holding me down on the earth. Okay, that's fine. You can say that, but does it change the fact that gravity is and always was and always will be holding us down? No, gravity is just here, and it's a fact of life, and we have to accept it. Similarly, we can say, I don't want to die. I'm scared. I want to stay forever. However, everybody we've ever known, all of our great-grandparents are probably dead by now. Once you get to a certain age, your grandparents are dead. I'm 45 right now, and my parents have both passed on. And there's just nothing we can do to avoid death and impermanence. So our aim is to make peace with this, to make peace with the truth and the inescapable reality that everything is going to pass away in a momentary manner and in a long-term manner. Momentarily, every experience we have will come and go. Long-term, we will leave the body that we're in right now and move on to what you might call greener pastures. So there's really no getting around this. And although right now we call death long-term, keep in mind that moment of death will just be momentary as well. It's just the snap of a finger. It's something that we spend a great deal of time worried about. And most of us have a underlying fear in the back of our minds about the impending reality of death. But that doesn't really create any benefit for us. To sit around and be worried doesn't create benefit. The great Indian saint Shantideva said, if you can solve a problem, why worry about it? Because you can just go ahead and solve it. There's nothing to worry about. If you cannot solve a problem, why worry about it? Because there is nothing you can do to solve it. And that is just an absolutely beautiful and very precise and concise teaching. We spend so much of our time lost in worry, lost in thought, and lost in the stories floating around our mind. And in reality, all we can do is either solve a problem or not. It all comes down to, are we going to take action or not? And a lot of the times you can't take action. There's not always something to be done. And if there's not something to be done, we might as well kick back and relax and rest. Why do we spend so much time tormenting ourselves? So at the end of the day, the whole thing is about letting go. I was watching a Grateful Dead documentary called The Long, Strange Trip. And one of the guys said, when you take LSD, anything can happen. And so he's one of the members of the band, the Grateful Dead. And he said that when they go up there and play on stage, their objective and their mantra was always to be very open, because they knew that anything could happen at any time, and they wanted to be very open. So the way that they went about playing the songs that they played and doing what they did, and they were a performance band, so they traveled. I don't know how many thousands of shows they did, but if I'm not mistaken, for the better part of 35, 40 years, they were performing. And so their thing was to always remain open, because anything can happen at any time. And I think that's really the whole spiritual path, is letting go. Letting go of our incessant need to control and to know what's going to happen next and to make things go our way. Letting go. And how do we let go? We simply, whatever thought comes up in our mind, whatever visual object comes up in front of us, whatever we see, we let go of it. We let it be. Whatever we hear, we let go of it. We let it be. Whatever we smell, we let go of it. We let it be. Whatever we feel as a sensation, whether it's good or bad, we let go of it. We let it be. Whatever we think, we let go of it. We let it be. So all of these things that arise in our life amidst this river of unending phenomena that will never stop, we just let it all go and let it all flow right down the beautiful river of impermanence. We let it do what it's going to do. And by letting go, to a certain degree, we're kind of surrendering the self. We're surrendering the self-cherishing mind. We're surrendering the selfish mind. We're surrendering the mind that demands to get what it wants. And when we surrender that selfish mind, and when we let go of control and we relinquish and let go of whatever comes up, we have a certain type of a space that comes with that, a certain type of contentment, peace, tranquility, relaxation, a certain type of a wholeness, a joy, and life starts to get a lot better. The hard part is remembering to let go, because most of us have been trying to control everything for so long that learning how to let go is not easy. It's very simple. It doesn't take any other explanation other than let go. But doing it, that's the real practice. In all the different spiritual traditions, my opinion of all of these different traditions, at least Buddhism, all the different Buddhist traditions, my opinion is that the objective of them all is to let go. People may not fully understand that. And people might get really caught up in the dazzling, colorful display of the different Buddhist trappings, the tankas and the rich practices of reciting, different prayers in Pali and Sanskrit and Tibetan and doing all of these, various things and the whole culture that comes along with it. It's easy to get really wrapped up in that and caught up in that. But the whole thing, it's about letting go. All of that is, if it's not teaching us to let go, then it's just teaching us to create more karma. It's one or the other. You're either letting go and purifying old karma, or you're grabbing on to more things and solidifying and reifying things, which leads to creating more karma. It's one or the other. So the bottom line is, what we are called to do, and by the way, the fact that I'm sharing what I know to be true in no way means that I know how to do it particularly well. I would say, I was telling a friend today, I would say 99% of the time I fail to let go. That's pretty awful, isn't it? Maybe it's 99.9% of the time I fail to let go. But the more often I bring to mind why I need to let go and how that's going to benefit me and those around me, the more often I remember that, almost like a mantra, let go, 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 let go. The more I bring that mantra to mind, the more often I get glimpses of actually remembering, oh yeah, just let it go. Oh yeah, I was about to get real worked up about something, just let it go. So the more we, put a little effort into non-effort, and that's what's funny, is our practice is letting go, but yet it does take a little effort to get to the point where we can remember that. But basically it's effort towards non-effort. So we're trying to make effort to not make any effort. All right, I'm going to stop talking because I can talk about this beautiful Dharma all day long. It's energizing and it's really fun to know that we're doing something meaningful. So I just want to wish, one last thing. Never let go of love and compassion. Never let go of generosity. Never let go of patience. There are good things that you don't want to let go of. You don't need to let them torture you. We don't need to be trapped under love and compassion. If we don't have love and compassion right now and we want it, we might get really impatient about that and beat ourselves up. So, just a light touch of remembering that love and compassion is always the right thing. Forgiveness is always the right thing. Generosity is always the right thing. If we can remember that. And know that these are aspirations. We want to do them, but it might take a little time. We might not be able to do them perfectly right away. But if we can keep the aspiration to do them, then eventually we'll be able to do them perfectly. So let go of everything else, but keep the good stuff. Okay, sending my love to all of you. Take care. Please have a wonderful day. Thank you for listening.